Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental perspective. How y'all doing? It's Monday. Um, I'm here. I hope you're here. You know. So today I had some things to do, which left me with some extra time on my hands. And honestly, what are we? Episode 7 just aired to the traders last week. High Chiricity. And I literally have not looked at any pages or reactions about anything on the traders up to that point, up to the point of last Thursday. Like, I see things for the challenge, I see things all the time when I'm covering Big Brother. I even see different things for Survivor, but for the traders, I'm not a part of any traders pages, traders communities. So I literally basically have not known what the public perception was of the traders. I only know my own perception, which was like, hey, this is overall a really messy season. We've had 4 messy traders. Hi Nash and hi Vicky. We've had 4 messy traders, which were Boston Rob, Bob the Drag Queen, Danielle, and Caroline. I consider all 4 of them messy. They all have messy gameplay. It's not strategic. And they've all come for each other. Like, compared to season 1 and 2, where it took a while for the traders to go after each other, they have gone after each other right away. Hi, Marshall. So that's my perception, that the season as a whole is messy. That's my perception of the season. So then I start looking at commentary today. And all the commentary is like pro Caroline and anti Danielle. And that's from interviews, that's from podcasts, that's from Twitter, Facebook, anywhere that people have a voice and a pulse. They're talking about how terrible of a trader Danielle is, the messiest trader of all time. They're talking about how she's a terrible person. So I'm like, let me find a reason. I really want to find an actual legitimate reason as to why they're saying this. Because it was not like they were saying she's messy just in terms of she's a bad game player. They were talking about her character as a person. So I'm like, let me find anything tangible to make me find some legitimacy to this statement. So when I go around and I look around, apparently things started from a podcast. I guess you could call it a podcast, a Patreon video. Carson from Survivor and Danielle, Carson from Survivor and Caroline were doing they have a channel that they started together, and also they were doing a Patreon, a YouTube channel and a Patreon that they were doing together. And I didn't actually see the video, but several people saw it and captioned it and reposted things from that video. And in that video, Caroline was basically saying that Danielle told people that she was a traitor, which would have been a breach of, the number 1 rule of being a traitor. You can't tell other people that you're a traitor. Now, she also made claims that Danielle revealed to Brittany that she was a traitor and said, basically told her that she was going to be trying to make her a traitor and that they could win the money together and come for Danielle. That's a huge claim to make, to be honest with you, because that's not just something on Danielle. You're basically saying that production, who I assume has cameras on them, even though it's not a 24-hour show, I assume production is always watching them. And you're basically saying that production colluded with Danielle for her to be allowed to tell other house guests in that house that she is a traitor. And you're telling me that a bunch of house guests, or all of the house guests, she said it was pretty much a 100% known fact. That's the words that she used. It was 100% known that Danielle was a traitor amongst the house, and people voted her out anyways. Voted Caroline out anyways. I'm like, if they all knew that Danielle was a traitor, why would they all want to keep her in? Like, I could see if she was saying that she told Brittany only or something, and her and Brittany had something going on, but it still seems just a little bit far-fetched to me. Does bro need 3 mods? Yeah, bro needs... I have more than 3 mods, actually, and I need all of them. I'm not even going to go on more. I'm not even going to entertain that at this point in time. But anyways, back onto the topic. Yeah, so that was her claim. And then there's also another thing where Danielle apparently swore on her grandkids that she's not a traitor. And people were so up in arms about that. I'm getting a migraine even thinking about this. Because I feel like I have this conversation about every one of these shows every time. Now, me personally, would I go on any of these shows and be like, I swear on my mom, my grandmother, I swear on my family, my sister, my dog, my cat, my parakeet? Would I do that? No, just because, like, it's just, I don't even do that in real life. Like, I know people who in real life are telling a story and they'll be like, I swear to this, I swear to that. Bob the drag queen at the beginning of the season was like, I swear to God that I'm not a traitor. And then when they voted him out, he said, I told you guys that I swear to God that I'm not a traitor. But I don't believe in God. For some people, I mean, wouldn't that be crossing the line to say I swear to God, but then you're an atheist, but you're saying I swear to God? I don't know. Like, I just feel like on these shows, saying those things doesn't mean much. It depends on how you feel with your own morals. Like, some people go on the shows and they're just like, when I get on there, anything goes. I'm going to do anything to win. And other people are like, I want to win the moral way. I want to win the fair way. I mean, but usually those type of people don't win. That's the honest truth of the matter. So then people were talking about Danielle with the crying and the shaking. It's like, oh, do you have to do that? Do you have to cry and shake? And I'm like, bruh, I mean, she's playing the game. So you don't like the way that she plays the game, so that makes her an evil person. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I looked at it and said, it's dramatic. It's maybe too dramatic, but I'm looking at it from more of a standpoint of you're putting a bigger target on yourself by doing extra. I'm not looking at it like, oh, she's ruining the show for me because she's crying and shaking. Like, if she's crying and shaking and you guys who are in the house think that that makes her an obvious traitor, vote her out. And to be honest with you, I assume that most likely in the next episode, she's going to get voted out. That's the same way that I felt about Boston Rob because he was doing too much. That's the same way I felt about Danielle, even though I thought that, not Danielle, Caroline. I thought that Caroline was probably going to go after Danielle, but I thought they were going to go one after the other. And it's the same way I felt about Bob the drag queen. I feel like all 4 of these people that we have seen thus far have been almost equally too much in different ways. Maybe the rest of them were not crying and shaking and all that stuff, but um, Boston Rob was going after everybody who said his name and making it extremely obvious that he was a traitor. Bob the drag queen made a statement that would implicate one of his fellow traitors very early on in the game. Caroline took random shots at Danielle early in the game. I know that Danielle was talking about her because Danielle didn't want her to be a traitor, but it's not the first time that we have ever seen that. Like, just because you all get selected to the traitor team does not mean that as traitors, y'all are going to like each other and that y'all are going to work well together. Like, I remember when Sari got Christian and Cody as traitors, and she was like, oh my God. I mean, it seemed like she was kind of okay with Cody, but Christian, she was like, I cannot work with this man. She was just really good at holding on to him until a good time came to get rid of him. Like, I feel like the Traitors is a poker game. The Traitors is like a poker game. And your goal is to hold up those cards, even if you have a full house, even if you have a two pair, three of a kind, or whatever. You don't want anyone to know what your hand is until you play the hand. And I feel like that's what made Sari so masterful at the game, is that the people that she was gunning for did not know that she was gunning for them. And the way that she did this was that she would be involved in conversations where people were talking about said people, but she would not lead the conversation. If somebody else brings it up, she did a good job of kind of going along with what they said, but she was not huddling people up and being like, hey everybody, I think we got to get Christian out of there because here's the reasons why we got to get Christian out. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, that's what Caroline is doing. That's what Danielle is doing. And that's what Boston Rob. I don't really know too much if Bob the drag queen was doing that. His more of a case of he didn't want to work with Boston Rob specifically, and he just shot at the wrong guy because he probably didn't think that Boston Rob would take that big of a shot that early in the game, but misjudgment. But anyways, I think that Danielle is, to me, getting unfairly characterized and people are doing too much. I went and looked at her Twitter and saw some of the things that people were tweeting her and saying about her, and I was like, this is nasty. Like, this is another one of those things that just takes things beyond gameplay, and I don't like it because I have actually really liked this season, and I have not found the season to have the kind of undertones that people are insinuating. And the things that Caroline said are hearsay. I would have to hear multiple other house guests confirm what she's saying before I believe that. I wouldn't just believe that based on somebody who's obviously bitter about the person who took them out. I would not automatically just take her word for it just like that. And I don't understand. Like, people are saying, well, yeah, Caroline is dramatic too, but that's Caroline's baseline. Yeah, I mean, Caroline is dramatic as a baseline. That is true. But nobody knows how they would react in that type of thing where Alan taps you on the shoulder. And from the time he taps you on that shoulder, you know that you have to lie your way to the end. You got to lie to your friends. You got to lie to your enemies. You got to lie to everyone in between. You got to lie to the end. So the lying is probably a combination. It gives you like a combination of feelings. You know, you probably feel bad morally. Like, damn, every one of these conversations that I have to make something up. But then you're also like, I have to act at the same time. So when people are like, Danielle is acting, I'm like, they're all acting. They're on a TV show. There's a camera crew there. And you're one of the traders. So you're supposed to act. I don't understand what is making people so mad. Now, this is me saying everything without trying to state the obvious of what I think. But Danielle has been in this position before. I'll say that. I think that people just generally don't like Danielle's gameplay. She's overly dramatic. But no, it's not my the criticisms of her gameplay. I'm fine with. You can criticize somebody's gameplay because I think that she's overly dramatic as well. But the things they're saying are well beyond gameplay stuff. They were talking about her hair. They were talking about different things, like saying that her being on the season ruins the whole season for them. I'm just like, this is so extra. What the way that they're talking about this woman is just not good. It's not nice. It's toxic. Sari got away with things because she said nothing. Yeah, we know what it is. Yeah, Danielle is trying to recruit Brittany, but I don't doubt she'll try to. I mean, she's backed herself into a crazy corner. I would say, like, getting back to the gameplay part, I think Danielle has really backed herself into a corner. I feel like she's heavily on the chopping block. I think that even though they got Caroline out, I think that everybody feels like we got Caroline out because Danielle knew she was a traitor, so Danielle helped us to get Caroline out. Because honestly, I don't really think that Caroline really did anything all that suspicious for Danielle to have called her out for 4 straight days, or however many it was. So I think the people are like, how did she put all those pieces together when none of the rest of us are putting these pieces together? I think that Danielle's in trouble. Danielle's in trouble. Now, how she's gonna utilize Brittany is going to be very interesting, because we've never been in this position this late in the game where there's like one trader and then the trader is recruiting their showmate and the person that has been their number one in the house, because they've been number ones in the house. That's what I'm saying, because they take it too far, because they don't, which is where they take it too far. Just leave it to you don't like her gameplay. That's what I say about all these people. Like, I mean, if there's something that they do that is beyond gameplay that you don't like, call it out, because those things do happen sometimes. But I have not really seen any evidence of her doing things beyond like messy, dramatic gameplay, which to a degree, like I said, I think all 4 of those traders were doing. And the funny thing is, she's the last person standing of the 4. So no matter how bad anybody thinks her gameplay is, it's just like what I say about Big Brother. Like, a lot of the people who follow me know what I think about Jag's win on Big Brother. I'm like, I feel like Jag's win was amateur hour on Big Brother and he got lucky. But does it really matter what I think? Because at the end of the game, he implemented some strategy and he was the last person standing, and a jury voted for him unanimously. So it is what it is. Like, he won the game. So she is the queen of the messies at this point. Because she's the one who lasted the longest out of the messies. And she went toe-to-toe with Caroline. And that's the other thing. I know Caroline is endearing to a lot of people because she's quirky, and because people are like, she's just lovable, huggable, squeezable, everyday person. Caroline is also a gamer. No matter how ditzy, goofy, and whatever she looks like, I mean, she must be good at games because she's been on two of them and she's made it far in both. So why is nobody saying when Caroline was crying, part of that was acting? Because it had to be. Again, it's the same thing I feel about Danielle. I'm not saying that she didn't genuinely feel reasons to cry, but part of it was acting. Part of what she said at the round table was acting because she was a traitor. And part of what she was saying to people in the house was lying because she was a traitor. So, like, why are people like, oh, Danielle's a liar? You have to lie. Like, how are you supposed to win as a traitor without lying? Thought so too. I thought maybe Caroline, he'd be pacified feeling. I was surprised. I probably missed whatever comment you're responding to, but I was actually really surprised when Dylan voted for Caroline as a traitor. I was very surprised because it seemed this whole time he was just lasered in on Danielle, and then all of a sudden he just had this last minute flip, and I was like, my goodness. Some people are suggesting that he knew Danielle was a traitor, but he was trying to work with her. I mean, you can know somebody's a traitor and want to work with them, but I just think it's a crazy suggestion to suggest that they allowed Danielle to tell people, I am one of the traitors, and for them to just keep going with the game. Like, that's a huge conspiracy theory. And sometimes when I hear conspiracies, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I could see that one. I could see the potential for that one to be true. But this one feels like a super reach to me. To be honest with you, that's how I feel. Rob and Bob the drag queen were messy, but that's what I'm saying. Ratings are rating for you. Love from India. Thank you. I'm probably in the minority as well, but I loved Cerie's gameplay. I still think Cerie is the GOAT of the traders. I only watched the Traders Canada season 1, so I haven't seen the other countries' versions of the Traders, but just in terms of the 4 seasons that I've seen, which is the 1 Canada and the 3 US so far, I haven't seen anyone else with a better excuse me, better gameplay than her, in my opinion. She surprised me for the show, let alone. You're talking about who, Caroline? Yeah, I actually watched Caroline's interview on, I can't remember this guy's talk show, but she was on this guy's talk show, and then she was talking about that. She was like, she said that she was looking at all these people from all these other shows and surprised that she would be considered to be picked for the traders amongst that group. And I don't dislike Caroline. It's just that I don't like how she's getting the hero's welcome, and everyone's talking about how big bad Danielle came for her. Like, they were coming for each other. They were going back and forth. I actually loved Sharon Tharp's interview with Corey, which I posted on my community page. because Corey was very objective with his opinions, and he wasn't going along with the majority of the crowd, which I like, because that's me. I don't go with the majority. I go with what my own two eyes see and hear, and I think that people are doing the most, and I don't like it. Caroline drove me nuts on Survivor. Yeah, that's how she was for me too. I didn't like her at the beginning, and then she grew on me. I would definitely agree with you there. Oh, they have a Traders finale viewing party coming up here, and I'm upset at myself that I haven't paid for a ticket, because now I really want to go and see who comes. Aza is hosting that. I hope tickets will still be available when I have the funds to be able to purchase a ticket. Her voice is annoying to me. She does. I agree with you, Vicky Ancherity. She definitely grew on me. Lots of people love Suri, I guess. The gameplay is good. Who do you think is the best trader? Who do you think has had a better season of the traders than her? That's what I want to know, if we're comparing. Hey Zuda, man, I haven't seen you on here in a while, and I didn't know you watched the traders. All right, anyone who gives it's too dark, I can't see your face, people with wrenches, you have my permission to take them out, because that's what I would do. Use some common sense. Thank you, whoever did that. All right. I feel like if Danielle never tried to throw Caroline under the bus. Well, the thing about a show like this is it's not Big Brother. So what you're saying to me is like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? We have no idea who threw whose name under the bus first. Like, we do have some kind of a suggestion. Like, the way they put things in their order, Danielle threw Caroline's name under the bus first. But then I think to myself, there has to be some kind of a reason why Danielle was saying Caroline's name. I feel like there's more to it than that. And that, I wish we could get real interviews. But I heard that what Carson said. So this is what I've heard about Carson and Caroline. If y'all remember Carson from Survivor. Carson and Caroline became friends. I think they were from the same scene, if I'm not mistaken. And they became friends. They were friends outside of the show. And then they started doing recaps of the traders together. And I guess Caroline told Carson some things about the traders, like behind the scenes type of things, but told him, you're not allowed to say these things because on the air, because there's NDAs that don't allow me to talk about these things. And then apparently Carson spoke on those things and put it on their joint Patreon account, and now they're not speaking, the two of them. I say all that to say, y'all know how I always talk about those Big Brother exit interviews, Survivor exit interviews, and I'm like, these don't feel real. Traders seems to have a similar, contract situation where they keep a lot of things under wraps, because I would very much like to know definitively this is what happened. I mean, obviously the show is not going to say anything that somebody told other people that they're a traitor, but there's other questions that I wish that we could get answered. All right. Steve. Nobody got rid of Steve, so I'm getting rid of Steve. You love the show? I love the show too. Traitors is a really good show. Like, I kind of like House of Villains. I kind of like, what's the other one? House of Villains. I mean, I like some of these other shows to a degree, but The Traitors is one that has jumped up there on my list. They don't. Yeah, I've heard that one, that they don't sleep in the house. I mean, that's whatever. It's kind of dramatic effect. Caroline was even telling us of things that they tell them to do for the cameras. It's kind of like the circle in a sense, you know, where they do certain things for the camera for the sake of suspense. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Traitor saga, the Danielle Caroline saga. I don't think either of them is a good or bad person based upon what we've seen on the Traitors. Danielle is an aggressive game player from what I know, and not everybody likes that. But I think that people find things to fit narratives. That's what I think. I think that if they already don't like somebody, then they can easily take things that they did or said in a game and add them to the list. Whereas if they already like somebody prior, they are going to take some of those same things and either excuse them if it's a bad thing, or they're going to praise them in things that could have some gray area. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, there's plenty of no camera time. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. That's all I have to say about that. And as always, thanks for your support on my channel. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop some more great content. Thank y'all, and I'll be seeing a lot of you this week, because you know that I'm going to be at the Survivor premiere party. Hopefully Caroline is there, although I met Caroline once before and I tried to speak to her and she gave me the cold shoulder. I'm just saying. I never mentioned that on my channel, but I was at one of the Survivor, maybe the Survivor finale party for her season, and I saw her and I was like, hey, Caroline. It's like, I'm a big fan. She walked right by me, and then she walked by me a second time. And then I was like, okay, she's not trying to talk to me. Let me at least try to see if I can get a picture. And I asked her for a picture. She's like, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. She never came back. I didn't think much of that, though, because honestly, she looked kind of overwhelmed. So I can believe that she was just overwhelmed, not being at those kind of things before. But I did feel a way about the fact that she walked back and forth past me, and I saw her take pictures with other people, and she ignored me. But anyways, I don't take things to heart like that. But yeah, I'm going to talk to y'all later. I don't know if it'll be later today or tomorrow, but I will be back. Have a good evening, everybody.